Hello and welcome to FDT-TV podcast number 29. I want to say we're getting up there now in double figures. I've lost all my fingers and my toes because I've used all them, so can't count anymore. As always, I'm Ian and I am joined by.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Phil.
If you are new here, because there are a few of you that are new, we talk about football. As you can see by the backgrounds, we talk about Everton and West Ham and Arsenal. Three clubs that we all support. No, only a lie. Phil supports Liverpool, but only when they're not playing Everton. So we talk about the Premier League, we talk about all things football, we talk a lot about VAR, and we do moan like there's no tomorrow. So if you want to join in that, then by all means, get involved in the comment section below or on Twitter. Our handles are below us. But as we always like to, we start off on a positive with goal of the week. So, Mr. Banham,
thank you, Ian. So, you'd like to know that there was 3 chosen this week, and I thought there was an outstanding goal, another one that was fairly good, another good team goal. So we had James Ward-Prowse, Southampton, first goal of the game. Thought it was quite a good team goal. A couple of little flicks on to get him in, and a good goal to set up against Everton, which I was very pleased with. To get them the lead and to put away all of those Evertonians who are like, yeah, we're going to win the league, we're not going to lose. Oh, well. Next up, we had Raul Jimenez, who scored a fantastic little volley. Don't know if you saw it.
No, I didn't.
That's really good. Really good. I think it came out from. It was just after a corner. I think he literally just set himself up and just smashed it into the top corner.
Fair enough.
Really good. And then, of course, you had Antonio, who kind of went against the grain, used his muscle to do a lovely overhead kick against Edison, who had no hope.
Saw that. That one was a good one.
That was a bad
good one. It seems that 2 weeks succession that West Ham have had like contenders for goal of the season.
Mate, it's because we're the best team in the league. We've got David Moyes.
The positivity.
You can't get any better than that.
Right, so we had a few votes today, and there had to be only one winner with 67% of the votes, and that was Antonio. So, well done, West Ham, 2 weeks on the road.
Well, you got to say, I mean, we are playing well. I think I called it with that first game of the season being a 2-finger salute to the ball.
Mm.
Just got to maintain it now. That's the trouble. That's where we struggle. We did have a few games this week, didn't we? We played Man City. Liverpool played Sheffield United.
Yep.
And Arsenal played on pay-per-view.
Arsenal didn't play.
We played on pay-per-view.
Who did you play?
Leicester.
Oh, yes, of course. No controversies there. We did. We get onto that. All right, let's start with that. One good, one bad. Mr. Horse. There was a very tense there, so I think we should start with you and get it out of the way.
The one good in the first half, we were actually quite attacking. We had 11 shots on 11 shots on goal. Slightly ambitious of the on target number there. 11 shots on goal. I think it was like 2 or 3 on target. That's really all I can say about the good. Is that we seem to be a lot more attacking in the first half.
That's good. So you need is just one, Mike.
The shut your face. The one bad, Jamie Vardy. Just, I want to use an expletive here. I really, really do. The guy's a
bleep it. I'll bleep it. It's fine.
Honestly, I don't.
Why? Because he scored a good goal.
It wasn't a good goal though. It was avoidable. That was the worst bit about it. I don't want to say that Mustafi caused the goal because he hasn't played for a long time, and he was kind of thrown in at the deep end, just coming back from a pretty serious injury. But it was Mustafi's fault. Really was Mustafi's fault. Just before the ball gets played up, you see Gabriel realising there's a threat coming, and he can quite clearly see that he needs to push over, and he even calls out to Mustafi and says, "You need to fill this space." And then the inevitable happens. Jamie Vardy's got about 6 or 7 yards in front of Mustafi already. It's always going to be a chasing game. Granted, I'll give it. It was a good goal. A great run, cross the ball, put across the box, and lo and behold, Jamie Vardy's there to tap it into the net. But I can't get where we are at the moment. What's that?
Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry, I was just sorting out an off-camera problem.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't get where we are. We've lost 3. We've been Oh, he's gone.
No, we're here. We're still here.
Oh,
that's it.
I'm not sure what happened there. Technical difficulties. Sorry about that.
So we can cut it out.
Play 3, lost 3. I don't know what's happened to the form of Aubameyang. He's just not firing, and
he's at the paycheck, mate. It seems that once he's signed, he hasn't. Has he scored since he signed?
He doesn't strike me as that sort of player, but I feel I do sort of agree with Phil there. Since he signed on that dotted line, it's not been happening, and we've seen that with a number of players over the years.
But I just don't get it. There just doesn't seem to be the service into him that we were getting last year. There doesn't seem to be the want or desire. I mean, I in the first half, I was talking to one of my mates about it, and I was like, Jesus Christ, we're actually going to go for it. We're actually going to go for it. We had the dodgy decision, which we're going to talk about in the VAR section, but I'm not feeling this Arsenal team. After the first game of the season, I thought, yes, we're going to be on one. Like I said, at the start of the season, by no way do I think that we're going to get that we're going to win the league this year. But I thought that we would be able to contend for the top 4. I would be happy with the top 6 of the way we're playing at the moment.
Mike, is that because your first game was against a championship team?
No, I don't think it was.
And then they flattered you.
Granted, Fulham have had their issues. It's evident for everyone to see. But the way that we were playing, it was like we'd come off the hype of the end of the season, so the FA Cup run, the Community Shield, the Premier League fixtures where we beat you at home. We were on such a high, and then it just seemed to be a bit of momentum going into the new season. We had some returning players come in, and we just seemed to be going on that momentum, even with the new players coming in. But since then, we were ropey against West Ham. We were crap against Man City. We were crap against Liverpool. I can't remember who the other... Oh, and we were crap against Leicester. Sorry, we were okay in the first half for about 25 minutes, and then just absolute shit. Not happy.
I do feel like you're playing a different game to what you did against Fulham. Against Fulham, it was very attacking, very free-flowing, and now it just seems to be very negative. And I know there's possibly defensive problems still at Arsenal, because that seems to be what's let you down over the last 10 years.
Do you know?
But you've got to score goals. If you can't outscore your opponents, you ain't ever going to win.
And this says a lot about our creativity. When we lost all creativity when David Luiz come off the pitch.
That's scary.
Oh wow!
I didn't watch the game. I will admit, but that's quite scary to hear you say that.
We lost all creativity when he come off the pitch. He was pinging in some absolutely amazing balls. And I'm talking like 40, 50-yard pingers, cutting across the pitch, picking out Hector Bellerin for Bellerin to either take it on himself, put in across or whatever. I mean, there was a couple of chances that Lacazette should have nailed. There was a couple of chances that other people should have nailed. But, yeah, we were just fucking shit.
Do you think that's maybe Arteta... According to Guardiola, he's very good, but he's very technical. Do you think that's maybe him trying to get too technical with the players rather than saying go out and play your game?
I think Martin Keown, I read about this earlier, that Martin Keown actually said something that he's bordering on Emery tactics, and the fact that he keeps changing the formation and all that sort of stuff. Now, granted, we have got to do the squad rotation because there is a massive fixture congestion this year.
Yeah.
But also we're hit with injuries and with new players coming in. So everyone wants to get a fair crack at the whip. We get that. And obviously with the new signing, Thomas Partey, I think we're going to have to adapt the formation slightly in order to get the best out of him. Personally, I think we need to have a serious think about our top three, because Pepe's been underwhelming this year. Aubameyang's been underwhelming this year. Willian's been pretty hit and miss, although I think he's been one of the more consistent, but he picked up a little niggle, so he didn't play. Saka, I think, has been one of our more consistent performers, so maybe give him a run. We've got the likes of Gabriel Martinelli coming back from injury. Granted, he's still going to be a few weeks away, but start giving him a run in the team. Even change Aubameyang into the number 9 position just to get him back into the scoring ways, because there's, I don't know.
You're getting lost.
I feel so. Do you know what? I was absolutely buzzing for yesterday's game. I thought we were going to absolutely smash it, and it just comes back to the same old fucking Arsenal. And I've got to admit, I'm fucking fed up of it. I really am. But that's enough of me.
It's the way it goes sometimes, isn't it? It is the way it goes. I mean, I've had it for years, so
passionate.
Right, come on, Phil. Give us a bit more positivity, will you? One good, one bad.
One good. We didn't lose. Whoop, whoop. No, we won against Sheffield United. They can be a tough team to play, very well organised. And from last year, I mean, they may not be exactly the same team, but they still have got a decent manager who can get them organised and be a tough team to play against. And alongside that, Bobby Firmino scored, which is always a good thing because he needs to score more goals. The other bad thing is simply the fact that there wasn't a penalty. VAR got it wrong again.
Well, Sheffield should have had a penalty.
They shouldn't have.
I think you're taking it too personally, mate.
That's 2 decisions in 2 weeks, and VAR's always VAR's bad now.
Yeah.
VAR.
Give it another.
Try being an Arsenal fan, mate.
Give it another 2 weeks. It'd be back again.
I think it's just any football fan, full stop, just does not like how VAR's done at the moment. They still have not it nowhere near correct.
No, it's shocking. It is shocking. I didn't really see much of it. I saw Bobby Firmino's goal. It was a rebound, wasn't it? Fell to him.
Yeah,
put it in.
Off a good save, and he just literally can't miss it from there. Then the second goal was offside, rightly so. Mo took and brought the ball down and slotted it away really well. That was fine. And then 2 minutes later, Jota headed home for an easy win.
Yeah. Sheffield United are the pinnacle of second season syndrome at the minute, aren't they?
Mm.
And the fact
they just lost those players that made a massive difference in last year.
Well, Dean Henderson, it shows how far a good goalkeeper can get you. I think it's how many points they're worth. Liverpool got their number 1 back now, haven't you?
Yeah, he's back in and makes a big difference. We've got lots of players coming back.
Van Dijk's dead.
Van Dijk has definitely died. We've got Thiago should be back by the end of the week.
May you rest in peace.
God, Matty. That's what Memphis to pay, and everyone else is saying out there.
I understand, obviously, that it's not nice to see one of your mates injured and not be able to do what they do well. But it does seem like he's died. The tributes you see, they're like memorial tributes. He's never going to play again. That's not the case. All right, he's on the sidelines for a year. But it's crazy. Right. Should we get on to
what's your one good, one bad, Ian?
So, I've got a thing up there still with West Ham versus Manchester City from my other video. If you haven't already, subscribe because we've got lots of other stuff that comes up on this channel. One good is it's the first time in 9 games that we've picked up a point against Manchester City. So for me, that's a huge plus. We've had games previously where we could have got points. It's just not worked out. But say getting a point for us is quite big considering the first the first few games we've had. I didn't expect us to pick up anything, but we're doing quite well in a minute. My one bad is Mikel Antonio's goal. I mean, he could have got up off the floor a little bit more, couldn't he? He could have gone airball and absolutely rocketed that. So that's my one bad.
I love that.
Imagine if he tried that. He could have skied it or something else.
That's what say. I'm unimpressed. I mean, I've seen Dean Ashton do that, man. And Dean Ashton was massive, and Dean Ashton got like 4 foot off the floor. So, come on, Antonio, up your game. No. In fairness, it was a brilliant goal. I was just taking liberties there, really. There isn't really a bad. I can't think of a bad from it, really. There was a couple of performances that were maybe a little bit lackluster. Fornals, but he was being man-marked by Carl Walker. Alwayner didn't have the best game, but you play Man City, so swings and roundabouts, you know.
Fabianski had a good game.
Yeah. I mean, overall, we're playing as a team, which we haven't seen from West Ham for a long time. It seems like we've got rid of a lot of players, some of which you would have liked to have seen stuck about, but a lot of players who don't fit that mantra of playing for the team. They play for themselves, so now they're gone. It seems like there's a bit more of a work ethic around the place, and we're doing really well.
It's a positive West Ham fan.
Speaking of things that are done really well, that leads into our section of Who Am I? Who am I? So, obviously, people who are watching on YouTube, you can see this, but for your audio listeners out there, this player has played for 7 clubs. He's had a 23-year career so far, and he's still playing. He's made 399 Premier League appearances. He's kept 132 Premier League clean sheets, 7 penalties saved, 1 goal and 3 assists in the Premier League. He's got a world record of 15 saves in a World Cup match. And he also has 1 magnificent beard. Before you guess, it's not me. But leave your comments down below or get us on Twitter and let us know who you think this player is. We will reveal it at the end. So if you do want to cheat, then skip to the end. But you've got to subscribe for that. That's the rules. Them's the rules. VAR, come on. Give us a VAR.
VAR can suck my dick.
What's got? So spell it out, because I read the Sky Sports. Sorry, I'm just blowing my nose. It's disgusting. I see the Sky Sports thing ticker to say that a goal had been disallowed, but talk us through it.
Yep.
I haven't seen it, so I'm sure there are several people out there who also haven't. So give us a full rundown of it.
Okay, so we had a corner in the 4th minute, I think it was.
Right.
We had a crowd in the keeper situation. So Granit Xhaka and a few others that were crowding Kasper Schmeichel. Not to the point where they've got their arms around him. They're just pressing on him just to make it a little bit more uncomfortable.
Yep.
So the corner's swung in. Kasper Schmeichel pushes Granit Xhaka out of the way. This then gives about 1 yard to 2 yards worth of space. The ball comes in. Alex Lacazette jumps up, manages to get a flick on the ball. The ball bounces down. Xhaka has to jump out of the way. The ball hits the post, goes in. Now, straight away, the linesman sticks his flag up to say it is offside. But when it went to check on VAR, they said that it wasn't offside because it was there was a suspected touch on Granit Xhaka, which didn't happen. It then come back that we were impeding the goalkeeper. Now, you have to see this from 2 or 3 different angles in order to see that Granit Xhaka is nowhere near Kasper Schmeichel at the time that the ball leaves Lacazette's head. But for me, wrong decision. And I was even watching an interview with Dermot Gallagher, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Ian Wright, Alan Shearer, Dermot Gallagher, basically just saying that the decision is wrong. Even Dermot Gallagher even says to Ian Wright, it was like, I know what you're saying. This is just the information I've heard from Stockley Park. So they gave it for encroachment or impeachment of the goalkeeper, and the goal didn't stand. It's just the biggest bunch of shit.
Shocking.
I'm not saying that would have changed the game, but it could have been a different result. We could have pushed on from that. It's just an absolute joke.
Deflating, isn't it?
It's one of those that we'll get onto it a little bit later as well, in a bit more detail. But where people are boycotting the pay-per-view things, if people boycotted the Premier League completely until they got rid of VAR, one or two things would happen with it. They would get it to work properly, or they'd scrap it. Because at the minute, I feel like every game you go into with you don't want to celebrate a goal, you don't want to. And it takes that bit of joy out, doesn't it? That passion of being able to jump out your seat and go, yeah, goal, because actually, oh no, it's not for some unknown reason that isn't really a foul, or isn't really offside, or isn't really impeachment, or it just takes that edge off the game for me.
But the frustrating thing for me is, and I've heard a few people say it, and when they were saying it, I was like, shut up, you're being stupid. And I even feel like a bit of a dickhead for saying this, but I'm telling you, man, I swear to God that there is some sort of agenda against certain clubs within the Premier League. I swear to God there is an agenda, because I can't even tell you how many decisions we had go against us last year, and we've had two key decisions in 2 games for us that have gone against us for VAR.
But that wouldn't surprise me, because there are a number of teams who've spoken out against the Premier League in a number of different ways, whether that be ex-players, whether that be boardrooms, whether that be voting against what the Premier League want to do. There's been a number of key decisions in there, and it wouldn't surprise me if that was a real thing. I mean, we've seen match fixing and corruption within FAs across the world, and FIFA. So what's to say the Premier League, where the league where there is the most money coming in weekly and yearly, that there is nothing going on?
But the worst bit about it is there's no kind of repercussions, because if you get a wrong decision, there's just like, as long as
we're sorry.
And that's it. As long as they can give like some sort of justification. Oh, at that particular point we thought it was this, or whoever had that, like that decision that had the Pickford decision. You were saying last week, last week, when it was like, oh, I didn't realise I could give a red card, because they're afraid of like.
But that weren't really a red card, was it? Come on.
No, but I'm just using that as an example.
Yeah, no,
they
I
didn't
don't
even look at the foul. They just looked at the offside.
Yeah.
And apparently, the same again this week for us, when they come and I said, oh, we were looking to see if he was inside or outside the box, not whether it was a foul or not. It wasn't a foul. He got the ball and took it off his toe and then hit him. It's like, really? And his foot landed outside the box, and you still think it was on the line.
But
Seriously.
There was a very apt
contagious
interview with Howard Webb last season, middle of last season, before we went into lockdown and everything was cancelled, where he was saying that referees are very, very good at being referees. But to do VAR, it's a totally different skill set, because you are looking from several different angles at something at a slower speed, so everything looks worse. But you're also using technology you're not necessarily confident we're using, because you're not techie, you're a referee. That's what your job, that's what you're paid to be good at. You're paid to be able to run around the field and look at things subjectively as it goes on in the game. You're not able to then take that mindset off and go, right, looking at this one incident on its own through a computer screen, what does that mean? and they're still not pushing for referees to go and look at incidents. And that's what winds me up.
Just do that overall then. Just tell them, look, right, I'm going to be a technical person, and I'm going to sit in Stockley Park, and if there's something going on, I'm going to replay this back to the ref on the pitch side. I'm not going to make a decision at Stockley Park. I'm just going to allow the referee to make the decision, and he can go and view every...
Yeah, and if you read the Premier League statement, that's exactly how it should be. If it's a clear and obvious error, then Stockley Park should overturn or make decisions for the referee. If it is something that is not clear and obvious, they shouldn't change the referee's decision. They should also refer it back to the referee to have a look on the pitch side monitor. And that is pretty much word for word the statement from the Premier League as to how VAR should work. But it just doesn't.
No, it doesn't. And I think that's proven, again, I can only go from my game because I was watching the game, and at no point did they say, so the linesman flags for offside. Again, I don't know why I'm gesturing, because for the people that are listening to the audio one, you can't see it. But to give an offside and then to come out with some bullshit to say that it impeded the goalkeeper's vision, yet at another angle, you can see he's like a yard to 2 yards away. Give the fucking ref the chance to go, or make it clearer for us.
Yep.
The people that are paying to watch the game.
Do you not think that where, if you look at other sports like rugby, for example, you can hear what the referee's saying, and when he does ask for clarification from the video ref, you can hear the feedback that's being given. So it is clear and obvious. There is no hiding as to what we've looked at, because we've looked at it from this. We can't, and they do say sometimes, we can't see it from any angle because there's too many bodies in the way. So
and they also let the referee make a decision. They go, I want to show you this. And the referee stops, he looks at the screen, and even then it's the big screens in the middle of the stadium in rugby, and then he'll review it and go, okay, thank you, and it should be this.
But I think that
it's the same with cricket as well. Cricket is a perfect example, and I think you can actually use what you were saying about having technical people to do the technical side of stuff, but you just have the referee watching. It's like if you get a review, you'll hear the third umpire go, all right, show me this. I want to see the side on view. Show me this. Show me this. So you've obviously got someone that's going click, 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 and they're just watching what's going on. Why the fuck can't they do that for football?
For me,
one of the biggest sports in the world.
For me, clear and obvious means that if you, providing she knows the offside rule, your nan should be able to tell you it's wrong. That's clear and obvious to me. I know nothing about football. I don't support a team. I'm not really interested. Have a look at this. And when they go, oh, that's a bad challenge, then there's obviously something wrong there. Or, oh, he's really close to the goal and he's going in. At that point, it's clear and obvious. If they go, why are you showing me that for? Then either there's no problem, or it needs to be referred back to the referee on the pitch.
Start giving the refs more power.
It's 2 millimeters offline.
For me, like, I know we used to get controversies. You'd get like one a week, wouldn't you? Pretty much one game where you go, that referee's had an absolute shocker of a game. He's missed the offside. He's missed that foul when there was no VAR. Now, for me, with VAR, you're getting 2 or 3 games a week where there's a problem. So surely that means that what you've brought in isn't working properly. Because if you're getting more controversies and more issues and more inconsistencies, then it's not working. So scrap it.
Change it. Make it better.
They've said they've changed it, but they haven't. They've said that we're improving it. We've done all these things. We've done more training. It's not worked.
Bullshit.
But I don't think they want you to hear what the referees are saying. One, because potential. I mean, can't say because I'm not on the pitch, but potential corruption or controversies within what's being said, or things that shouldn't be being said. And 2, because if the referee is mic'd up, the language on a football pitch is horrendous. And by letter of the law, you swear on a football pitch or at an official, then you should receive a yellow card. And I think most players would be having to be sent off straight away. First 10 minutes of a game, first challenge goes in, or you in whatever, there's your first yellow. And what you give me a yellow for? You didn't give me.
Why don't they do
what, you
like
shouldn't need to.
American football? American football, the refs are mic'd up and they can just turn them on when they need to turn them on.
You shouldn't need to.
When there is a...
You shouldn't
They
need
can't
to.
even remember term fucking goal line technology. So what hope do you think they've got a fucking switching on when they're actually talking? It should be like...
Yeah, but you shouldn't have to turn it on and off.
Wow.
Should you? You shouldn't have to.
No.
There shouldn't be anything being said on that pitch that the general public cannot hear.
Exactly. And what have they got to hide? That's the thing. Transparency is a big thing.
They don't want to be transparent.
In trust.
I think the interesting thing, Mike Ashley was taking the Premier League to court, wasn't he?
Yep.
The interesting thing will be, I think, is if he ends up in court. Because if he pulls out at the last minute and says, no, I'm not doing it, then what his accusations are false and made up. If he takes it, then there's going to be some heads rolling. There's going to be a lot of things that get pulled out and a lot of names that get dragged through the dirt, I think.
Yep.
For me, because I mean, why would he try and muck up his £300 million business move? No, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. The fact that one of their excuses is, oh, you didn't fact it over, and he went, well, yeah, we did. Here's a copy of the facts. They went, we haven't got a fax machine. That's you're changing your tune constantly. Oh,
on to something new and better.
I like the fact we all had an in-sync sigh there.
Yeah.
If anything, that VAR has brought out beauty in grumpy men because it does make you in harmony. And women, yeah.
And boys and girls, just grumpy people.
But everyone sighs in
fans.
unison at VAR. So we will move swiftly on. We've got 2 games this week. But first, we do need a score update. So for that,
Yes.
Mr. Hawes, will you please take centre stage?
What's on the scores, Mike Hawes? Right, so we had obviously 3 games at the weekend. We had West Ham, Man City, Liverpool, Sheffield United, and Arsenal, Leicester, as we've already discussed. You had for a draw for the West Ham Man City game. Me and Phil had them down as a. Oh no, Phil actually had a West Ham win. I had a Man City win. It was a draw, so you were a point and none for myself and Phil.
Woohoo!
Ian, you had Sheffield United 2-1 to beat Liverpool. Phil, you had 3-0. I had 2-1, so 3 points to me. Arsenal, Leicester, we all had an Arsenal win.
That was a mistake.
Enough said. No points on that. So the week's totals, Ian and Phil with 1 point and myself with 3. So the season's totals, Ian, you're currently sitting on 9. Phil, you're sitting on 11, but I have pulled away on 17 points.
If only my predictions were as good as my fantasy league.
Yeah.
Because I'm smashing that, but I just can't get these predictions right.
That's only a goal out in a lot of them as well.
So what games have we got this week then?
We have got Liverpool versus West Ham United, and then Man United versus Arsenal. I was just about to say whether I think this is a bigger game or not, and I'd say for a spectacle, I would say that the Manchester and Arsenal game is the bigger spectacle. However, in terms of the FIFA Day Trophy group, this is definitely the bigger game of the weekend,
especially when we win.
Confident. You're going to come to Anfield and try and win.
Well, if you're not trying to win, there's no point in taking part.
Been there?
How many games has it been that we haven't been there?
No, sorry. How many games has it been that Liverpool haven't lost there? Is what I meant to say.
It's been what?
Well, since Watford, isn't it?
69.
Didn't Watford win it?
Watford was away.
Oh, was it?
Watford was away. Yeah, it's been about 3 or 4 years. But I'll say about 3 years now.
You were lost then, didn't you?
Yes.
Since we last lost. It's been a long time.
If anyone's going to do it, it's going to be us, isn't it? That's it. And then we'll go and lose to Burnley the week after.
You are the party poopers, aren't you?
But then the other thing I say, you Antonio's out injured, isn't he?
No, he's nursing a hamstring, but he's not out of the game.
And we've got some players coming back, like Thiago, Matip, who could be back.
Wait, we've got Declan Rice. Enough said.
Right.
Argument one, like just Declan Rice in every position. Go on, I'll let you take. Because you're the home team, Phil. I'll let you I'll let you go first, and then I can tell you why you're wrong.
Yeah. Well, I am going to give you some glimmer of hope. I'm going at 3-1 Liverpool. I'm going to give you a goal, but I don't think you're going to have the strength and the depth to deal with our front three and our midfield. Simple as that.
Fair enough. Is that your prediction done? Is it?
Yeah.
I'll go on to mine. I've still got Man City showing on this. It's Liverpool now. I've gone for 2-2. I feel like we're in good form. You've got your goalkeeper back, but Van Dyke has died. And I just feel like
rest in peace.
Yeah, I just feel like we're gonna push you and push you and push you like we have. We've not given up this year, and we've seen that we can play long balls, we can play a bit short, we can play scrappy, and I just feel like you're gonna fall asleep at points in the game, and maybe later on, and we'll nick something. So yeah, 2-2 for me. It leaves only one.
I am. Do you know what? Just listening to what you were saying there, Ian, I'm not sure if I should change my prediction or not. But I've written down 2-1 to Liverpool for this particular game. Now, I agree with what you're saying about that you've been quite resilient this year, especially over the last few games. You're not giving up. Liverpool, they have had some injuries to key players. I think I'm going to stick with my original 2-1 answer or prediction. But I'm going to call a late VAR drama for Liverpool to get the winner.
If there is any VAR controversy in the way of Liverpool, then I'm going to insert lots of clips of Phil saying that it's biased against Liverpool.
Those words have not left my mouth.
Well, verbatim. No, I in fact, I'm looking forward to it because it's not on pay-per-view. It should be on. It's on. I think it's on Sky Sports, isn't it?
Yeah, Sky Sports 5:30.
Yeah, so I think that it will be an entertaining game, regardless.
On pay-per-view, we raised. I think our fans boycotted the pay-per-view at the weekend, and I think it's $100,000 went to charities or local food banks, which has been really, really good.
Yeah, everyone has. We'll get on. I've got some points to raise with that in any other business. I'm sure you two have got some things that you'll probably add to it as well. But what's the next game then, Mike?
So Arsenal away to Manchester United.
Are you worried about this, Mike, with the likes of Cavani in Manchester?
Do you know what? I'm actually not worried about this game at all. And the reason why I'm not worried about it is because I think it's a foregone conclusion that we're not going to win. Again, we're playing away from home. We don't travel well. Granted, defensively, we have kind of bolstered up to what we have seen in previous seasons. But I was listening to an interview earlier with a well-known YouTuber, and he did make a really good point, is that whenever you have teams that are on a bit of a Debbie Downer, just come and play Arsenal because we'll give you the leg up that you need. And do you know what? I absolutely think that screams true. So Manchester United, they've hit a bit of form recently with a few wins. Granted, with the draw against Chelsea, that game could have gone either way. But Arsenal away, we're lacking creativity, we're lacking goals. I'm going to put us down as a 2-0 loss.
Fair enough. Go on, Phil. I'll let you take next.
Well, do you know what? I've mirrored that. I've gone also Man United 2-0 win, and I have to agree that Man United have shown great promise over the last few games. They've been scoring up until that Chelsea game, but then the Chelsea game, they had an outstanding goalkeeper who made a complete difference to that game. They've got some very informed players at the moment. So Rashford's on form. Fernandes is always causing a problem and getting penalties left, right, and centre. So he might even find it might be a penalty or two, especially as it may not at Old Trafford. So yeah, and again, Arsenal the weekend, just you seem to go missing after the first half. You didn't take your chances, and that could well impact your mentality going into this game. And I believe you've got both. It shouldn't actually affect it, but you both have got Champions League this week, haven't you?
No.
Or Europa. You got Europa, they got Champions League.
So I feel like that was a sly dig there.
That was a Freudian slip. Oh, yeah, you know what I mean. The European competition.
Yeah, the competition that you don't know nothing about anymore.
No.
Fair enough. Well,
You Ian.
Originally I jotted down 2-1 Arsenal. But and then I thought about it because I thought Manchester United have been abysmal this season, and one of two things happened. They come out fighting, as you saw against Chelsea. Okay, it was a bit scrappy, and there maybe should have been a penalty given. Or they come out and they are lifeless, as against Brighton. But Arsenal have just been flat since that Fulham game, where I was like, "Wow, this is the Arsenal sort of I remember." When you think of Arsenal, that quick free flowing football where you're scoring lots of goals, there's lots of creativity. But since then, it's sort of died off. And usually we used to get a good spectacle out of Arsenal, Manchester United. So maybe it's the game you do need it. You do get a kick up the bum. You both gone for Man United wins?
Yep.
Do you know what? I'm going back to my original. I'm going 2-1 Arsenal just for the fact of it's a little bit different, and I need to rake in some points. So even if I do get an extra point, that's good. But two, I think it may be a case of you get that little kickstart that you need for the season in a big game that there's a lot of history behind, a lot of rivalry behind, and hopefully you'll just get that little momentum boost. Aubameyang will find the score sheet, and you'll be pushing on for obviously the rest of the season with your bit of a dodgy start put behind you.
Fingers crossed.
I may end up regretting it, but yeah.
We can never be all positive at the same time. It's either West Ham are doing bad and
West Ham are always doing bad,
negative, and then when West Ham are finally doing good, Arsenal are doing bad.
Now, can I point something out here?
He didn't mention Liverpool. Is that what you're going to say?
He didn't mention Liverpool. No. But what I was going to say is when West Ham are in bad form, there is a lot of gold Brady Sullivan out. Right? We've signed Benrahma. We've read that there's maybe a second medical that needs to be done before it's made permanent. Just protecting investment, that makes sense, business sense. But since that point that we were linked with him and it was happening, I've not seen a single negative post about the board. Now, in my head, if you are, I want the board out, you can't change sides then. You've got to stick with that. And I think it just shows how fickle West Ham fans can be. You think, and out of it was loved until the day his brother came out and said he wants to leave for more money, right? Then he was hated. Then he's been away and we was linked with him coming back. And it was about 50-50 that some loved him still. We want him back. And some was like, no, he's done.
Yeah.
But the more you get linked to him, the more that love comes back. Oh, yeah, how good was he for us? Under David Moyes, he played really well. And it just winds me up that West Ham fans are really fickle. Get a point and stick with it. If you have to admit you're wrong 6 months down the line, then admit you're wrong. But don't flip-flop to each side depending on what's happening and what's suiting you.
Yeah.
And it does my head in because, as I say, every week it feels like the interviews you still hear on TalkSport and all these panel shows that people ring into. They go, the London Stadium's rubbish, and they say, have you been? And they go, no. Well, how can you comment?
Even I've been.
How can you comment? That's the thing. I cancelled my season ticket 4 seasons ago, and I won't watch them on telly. Well, how can you comment on how we've been playing recently? Then you've not been watching. How can you comment on one particular player that we've only just signed? If you're not watching, you're not paying attention, and you're disengaged, and it just makes me feel like although people say West Ham have got the most passionate fans, there are some passionate fans that bleed claret and blue and know the ins and outs of a duck's arsehole about West Ham, and for those people, I feel sorry for because of the sort of I would call them Tim Pot fans that. Oh yeah, I'm from the East End, so I'm a West Ham geezer. It's like you've never been to a game. Just shut up about it. Just oh yeah, I'm a lad. Yeah, West Ham. I wear Stone Island. Yeah, I'm hard. You know, go away. I know we get it at every club, but West Ham seems to be rife with it. Of just people who are just cling on to that. Well, West Ham's an East End club, so I'm an East End geezer because I knew someone who knew the craze, and we were all West Ham. You know. Just fuck off.
I know Elijah Wood.
That's it, but that's what I mean. It just winds me up.
I can understand that. It is very frustrating.
But where have they gone? Where is the Gold Brady Sullivan out crew? Where are they now? Because I've not seen a single one of you about recently.
Have they all gone on holiday?
There seems to be a hashtag on Twitter, all I see, but it just seems to be a bunched in with a load. I think it's just like a copy and paste job.
In fairness, I've used it for the fact that it gets views.
To be honest, mate, that's probably the only reason I've seen it.
I think it's the only reason that people do use it, though. And there was protests, and there was a lot of people protesting when it was really bad. And they were taking money out, and they were doing stuff. And I understand that, and I see it, and I thought, fantastic, that's good. I mean, to see it on a match day. But it's a... I'm getting controversial now. BLM, Black Lives Matter.
Mm-hmm.
They've now been registered as a political movement in the UK of Black Liberation Movement. So they've taken a message that a lot of people agreed with, and they've changed it to suit their agenda. It's now no longer about equality. It's about political stances. It's no longer about being equal. It's about something else. So that original movement that got all this stuff and is fantastic has now been changed sort of under the radar. They're still using the same banners, the same text, the same everything, but it's not the same movement that everyone supports. That is fantastic, that players are still taking a knee for. It's not the same thing. And they're going to use that to get momentum, same as CSB out have used that momentum from those original fans to get views on whatever they want. And yes, I did jump on that bandwagon. You can call me out on that. That's fine. But that's the reason I use it. I've made my stances very clear when I thought the board are not doing the right thing by the club, and I've made my views very clear when I think they are. Leading on to their offering allegedly Declan Rice £120,000 a week and an extra year on what he's already got.
Not too bad.
So in that sense, where are you now? Huh? You took the tiny down to a long. Where are you? Yeah, who was that? That was Norwich, wasn't it? Delia Smith.
Yeah, Delia Smith. Yeah.
Let's be having you. But how many of those Gold Brady Sullivan out like that? Real hard hitting. We want you out of our club. We'll turn around and say thank you very much for securing Declan Rice for the next 5 years. Okay, yes, that may mean that in the summer he goes for 200 million rather than 100. But at that point, surely that's the better of two evils, isn't it? If he's going to go, he's going to go. But why not get more for him? I don't think he will. I think he'll stay now. I think he'll almost do a little bit of a Mark Noble. He'll almost a one-man club because he came from Chelsea originally, didn't he? They let him go for some reason.
Because they have so many youth team players.
I'm going to stop ranting because I've had a bad day. You know.
Yes.
Yeah.
So some of this is not aimed at football. It's aimed at I've had a bad day.
Yeah.
Who has got any other business?
Good weekend.
I think good
weekend.
Just with coupled with the poor result. I mean, today's just been. I'm not normally this much of a miserable bastard, but I honestly feel really deflated as an Arsenal fan at the moment. But I think that's just kind of magnified by the fact I've had a bit of a poor day today. So hopefully next week.
You ain't got too long to your next game, Mike. You've got European football this week, haven't you not?
Yes,
where you look forward to play some random team that no one's ever heard of and win a game that no one really cares about.
That's a little bit harsh.
Who is it? Now, here's the thing.
We're going to Dundalk, mate.
Dundalk in Scotland?
No. Ireland.
We're close. They're pretty much the same. Can't understand either of them. both like a drink.
I've been both Scotland and Ireland, so yeah, thanks for that.
Now,
that killed it then.
Well,
It was like,
awkward. No,
I've got some great news.
go on. You have your great news.
We are moving to our new training ground in the very near future, in the next few months.
Well, Van Dyke's not, is he? He's dead. I've already buried him.
they called it the Van Dyke training.
Oh my god! I guarantee you that's going to happen.
Yeah, they buried him up. They buried him at Melwood, and then the new one is going to be.
What's happening to Melwood?
The Van Dyke
Housing?
training ground.
Yeah, what's happening to Melwood? Is that going to housing, or is that what's happening with that?
Yeah, that'll be gone to housing and local projects.
Lovely. What I was going to say, just before we had some good news, well, it's not really good news, I don't care, was, do you not think that with obviously the year being as it has, with lockdown and whatnot, and sport being cancelled, and it seems to be going back into lockdown, they need to try and keep football happening, minus the VAR as a caveat, because there's a lot of people out there. That's what gets them through the week, is looking forward to watching that fixture or listening to that fixture on the radio and feeling that passion or that emotion, whether it's a win, loss or draw. The fact that VAR seems to ruin it, whether it's a win, loss or draw, regardless. Do you not think that?
Yeah, it brings people together.
But with this pay-per-view, that's ruining that, and that bit where people are struggling to get through at the minute. And their solace in it is being able to watch it or listen to it. There are games that would usually be on the telly that are no longer on the telly unless you pay $14.95.
I want to know what's going on with this, with the money for that.
Well, BT and Sky Sports have both released statements saying that they do not want to carry out box office games. They would rather show them for free. One, because it's ruining their brand, because they think that the money's going to them. What they've said is the money goes to the Premier League and they get a nominal amount, which imagine be a couple of quid, or showing it, or hosting.
$1 million or two, something like that.
But with the amount that, to start off with, I didn't see them release this statement. Since fans have been boycotting and donating that money, which they would have watched it with, to different charities and worthwhile causes, they've now come out and said, we don't really want to do this. So it makes you think, if it's their channel, why didn't they go, nah, we don't want it, give it to Amazon, give it to BBC to pay on pay-per-view, give it to Santander Sports or whatever they were.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird statement to come out afterwards and say that. It's kind of like backtracking to say,
yeah,
hang on a minute, this is ruining our brand. We need to do something to stop this getting worse, and we're losing other customers.
Yeah, but so with mental health being a thing, and obviously football being at the centre of a lot of people, a lot of stuff, and a lot of things, surely the government should step in and say, we're going to pay you 100,000 goes of $14.95, whatever it is, for the next 6 months. Put it on TV, put it on BBC, put it on Amazon, put it on ITV, just put it everywhere. Every game's free for everyone. Do you not think that would be more worthwhile to get people happy?
Yeah, yes, but we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago, that even if it was just an all-round subscription service, because I know there's a lot of people that do the Now TV Day Pass, which gives you then the access to, I think it's Sky Sports for 24 hours. For 24 hours, you pay
$9.99 normally, or $15.
No, but I don't know.
I think it's $9.99 for 24 hours. It's $12.99 for 72, and it's £30 a month.
Right. So effectively, the 30 quid a month.
Yep.
You can watch untold amounts of sports.
Yep, that's what I do.
And then, but for the people that have got the additional Sky subscriptions, so you have your normal Sky package, you're then paying an extra 30 quid on top of that. Plus, you've got the 12:30 games on BT Sport, which is another, what do I pay? 29 quid a month. So you're looking at 60 quid a month just on sports. Granted, I know not all of that goes to cover the cost of the Premier League, but that's, if you look at the people in this country, when they buy the sports packages, it's mainly to watch football. You're now being expected to pay an extra £15 a game for a couple of fixtures. And I kind of get it from the point, if it's your team, you might want to pay that, but at the same time begrudgingly pay that, especially if you put in a performance like we did. But I think it's disgusting that you're having to fork out that sort of money to be able to watch football. Now I get that if you buy a season ticket, it's obviously a lot more expensive over the course of the year, but at least you're actually going in, you're supporting your club.
But that's a day out.
And that's what I was trying to say. If they made it that the money was going to either directly to the club or clubs, split 50-50, I don't think I would have a problem paying that, because obviously the clubs are a business. I get that they're a lot more well off than a lot of other people, but at least you have money going back into the clubs, and therefore they were able to sustain each other. They'd probably get a bigger audience as well.
And they've still got people to pay, haven't they? They've got obviously players, but there is still normal people who work at football clubs.
Exactly. And with the likes of the redundancies that we've seen, again, I'm just talking from us because I know more about us than I do about your clubs. But we've seen 55 people get made redundant because they can't apparently afford to pay these players. Now, I don't know their finances. It may well be the fact that they've needed to chop these people from non-key jobs in order to get it. But I've sidetracked there. But if the money was going back into the club, I think I'd be a lot more receptive to paying that money. Alternatively, having the Premier League as just one subscription service, and then you get every game.
Well, wasn't there talks of that previously? In the off season, there was talks of the Premier League having its own subscription service, a bit like the Bundesliga and La Liga, where you can pay, and it's something like £15 a month, and you get every Premier League game. And the Premier League would make millions.
I'm not being funny. I mean, I love my sport. I really do love my sport. I don't really watch a lot else on Sky Sports other than the football, possibly the dart. In fact, no, I do love the darts. But golf, American football, I like American football, but it's something I could take or leave. I wouldn't go out of my way to sit down and watch a game. What other sports are on there? Like cycling and swimming and what else?
NASCAR and F1.
A little bit of cricket every now and again. If it's got the T20 on or whatever, I quite enjoy that. Boxing. Thank you. I do love a bit of boxing, but so I've pretty much just sold every sport that's on Sky Sports. Yeah, fuck it. No, just keep it as it is.
Now, here's the thing. I've had some communication with different people who've tackled this problem in different ways. One of them, a lot of people now use VPNs, don't they? Which, for those who don't know, are a virtual private network. So essentially, you could be sitting in Basingstoke, but your computer thinks you're sitting in China. I don't know why you do that. There's less there than what there would be in Basingstoke. But like, if you think if you were like set it to America or France or something like that, not only do you get different Netflix and different like video services, but what they then do is so that costs them, I think they were saying, for full streaming, everything, all singing, all dancing service is £15 a month, right? They then pay. It was one of the American companies. I can't remember which one it was because they said they do a couple, but there's one that shows all the Premier League fixtures, every single one, and it costs them.
I think it must be like Fox Sports or something.
Something like that, but it was $7 a month. So you convert you convert that over, and that is like what, a fiver?
£4 if that.
I don't think the pound's that strong anymore. But even so, even if it is whatever it is, it's less, and that's a month. Or not. It shows every Premier League fixture, but you get La Liga games, you get Bundesliga games, you get American football games, you get all the other sports as well. And he's like, it just works out cheaper. I'm not one for doing that at the moment, but it did put it in my mind to go, why am I not doing that?
Mm.
So for essentially, we were thinking the best part of £22 a month, you're getting all the sports, which is less than what I'm paying now for Now TV. Yet I get all the same sports over there plus more.
Is that including your the VPN charge as well?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that means the only thing is I've got to be logged onto my VPN, and I can, from what he was saying, you can get it on your phone and your thing because it's all singing, all dancing, so you can stream whatever you like, whenever you like, with no extra cost. There's no limits. Wherever you are, and then you go, oh, okay, that's there. I now want to go and watch Netflix. Let's set it to that because that one's got the programs I want to watch it on. And you're like, why? Surely the Premier League are going to cotton on to this at some point and go, everyone is going elsewhere. Why are they going elsewhere? What have we got wrong? Or do you just think they take what they can and go, happy days?
I don't know.
They might just take what they can and go and sit in there on their nice wages and just go, I don't care.
Mm. Well,
I don't know. To be honest, I think in terms of companies taking the piss out of the British public for it being an English sport, we don't see the sorry end of this deal. We really do.
Of every deal.
Yeah.
Well, shall we finish on a bit more of a positive note?
Yes.
We'll go back to Who Am I? Mm-hmm. So a quick recap. It's on the screen for you YouTube viewers, for your audio listeners if you're still here. 7 clubs, 23-year career, still playing, 399 Premier League appearances, 132 clean sheets, 7 penalties saved, 1 goal, 3 assists, 15 saves in a World Cup match, and 1 magnificent beard. Oh, and breathe. And the answer to that is none other than USA's Tim Howard. Played for Manchester United and Everton in the Premier League. He's still playing at Colorado 92 or whatever it is. Yeah.
Legend.
Got the man of the match at that World Cup game where he made 15 saves, even though they lost 2-1 to Belgium. So, there is this week's Who Am I? Didn't Jackie Chan say that in a film once? Who am I? I'm pretty sure that was a thing.
I've got a question for you both for any other business.
Go on.
Go on.
No.
With how things have been in the first, 6 games of the season?
Yep.
Do you feel that Pep could be out?
No.
Not until the end of the year.
They won't sack him.
I agree. I'll be very surprised if they do sack him, but I think he's got till the end of the year.
Yeah, I think he's done so much there and brought so much success and so much what's the word?
Success?
No, not success, but he's put them in centre stage. He's put them on the world stage. He's brought so many eyes to see Man City that if it is a case that it all goes very wrong and he can't get it right, then there will be a conversation that says we're mutually departing. Even if it's not mutual, this is the time to say enough's enough. And I think that will be done privately, and I think that will be done behind closed doors, and you won't ever know any different.
Because he only got this is his last year of his contract, isn't it? So he's got the option to literally just go, okay, it's not happening anymore. I'll take a break.
Yeah.
And they'll go, yeah, we agree. We'll take a break from you as well.
Let's say I think that will be very much a thank you very much for what you've done, but it's not the right option for us. That's the case if he's out of contract. They don't strike me as the sort of people who would not stab him in the back. That's the wrong word, but they come across to me as quite loyal.
Lose faith.
Yeah, no, but they're quite loyal owners. They've gone through a few managers, but I can't remember when was the last time they sacked a manager in the middle of the season.
I don't think they ever have.
Even when they agreed with Guardiola to take over, that was middle of the season. But the manager still stayed on. Was it Pellegrini? Still stayed on till the end. That was because that's when his contract ran out. That's what was agreed with the club. They still stuck with him, even though they weren't having the best of seasons. All right, they was up there, but they didn't win anything, did they?
Jose's got to be due a new club soon, anyway, as well, isn't he?
Next year.
Yeah,
I think he'll
Yeah,
win.
that's what I mean.
Well,
So Pep leaves at the end of the season. Jose into Man City.
I don't know.
Maybe Zidane.
No, I don't think they'll have a Zam. That's an interesting one, though. Who's going to take over at Man City?
Jose, I'm telling
Jose. What, you mean after he wins the Premier League with Tottenham?
No. He'll win a League Cup. Win a League Cup with them.
Now, against us, they were pushing for a Premier League winning campaign, and also fighting relegation, all in the same match. That's what they did. Record says.
Spursy, yeah.
Yeah. Right.
But anyway,
Thanks for listening. We're out.
Mic drop.
Job done.